Conceal, reveal. It's something that we've been doing for over a year now, thanks to the pandemic. And now a new art installation is shedding light on the masks that we've been wearing every day. Here to tell us about the latest installation at a local gallery is Randall Rosenbaum. He is the executive director of the Rhode Island State Council on the Arts. Good morning.
Good morning. Pleased to be with you.
Happy to chat with you today. Like we said, masks have kind of become the norm, so it's interesting to see them in a different light, in a unique way. Tell us about the latest art installation.
Well, it's as you sort of mentioned, it's a real reflection of the creative power of ordinary citizens in the state of Rhode Island. This is an exhibition of basically 10 panels of 80 original works that are created in and on the shape of masks. They were created in Rhode Island during the pandemic, and they reflect not only the important message that people should wear a mask and socially distance, but they also reflect the healing power of art and the role that art plays in dealing with a number of issues. I mean, during the pandemic, we dealt with emotions as varied as grief, fear, frustration, uncertainty. Yeah. All of these things came down on our shoulders in a very significant way during the pandemic period. But the pandemic also showed us that we as a state can be resilient and can build upon those fears through a sense of community. So this show is all about, the reflection of those emotions and feelings and attributes, all reflected in 80 original works in the shape of masks.
And they are absolutely stunning. Do you know roughly how many artists came together to put these? You said it's 10 panels. It's quite a large number of art that we can see.
Well, first of all, we're lucky. It's a very large gallery space. Yeah. And as such, we have the ability to show works of a certain size and scale. Now, each of these pieces individually are very small. They're the size of a face mask. Mm-hmm. But collectively, there are 80 different works, and they are installed on 3 different large walls in 10 specific panels.
Wow, it's beautiful. You mentioned the gallery itself is large enough to hold an installation like this. Let's speak to the gallery. It's the Atrium Gallery. It's located right in Providence. What should we know? Where exactly is it? And what does it normally feature?
So we're the State Arts Council. So we're a state agency, and I'm a state bureaucrat. We work in the state's main administration building. And, 20 some years ago, when we first started to move into this building, we knew we wanted the building to reflect certain things. First of all, there are several hundred people who work in the building, and they should work in an environment that is not just a workplace, but also an exciting and invigorating environment. The arts do that to a great degree. So infuse art into a workplace, it just makes the building sparkle. Mm-hmm. Second, it's the building where people go to pay their taxes. So there's a certain degree of trepidation as you go into the state's main administration building.
Yeah.
We wanted to soften that effect, and the arts are great for that as well. And thirdly, we had an opportunity to use this gallery in the state's main administration building and the seat of government to reflect Rhode Island and what it is and what it can be. Mm-hmm. And therefore, the gallery is a showcase for the work of Rhode Island artists, Rhode Island organizations. We're particularly proud of the fact that the gallery is a showcase for the work of underrepresented communities in our state, communities of color, people from different diverse backgrounds can find a place to exhibit their work. And we're very proud that under the leadership of our staff member, Elena Calderon Patino, who is managing the Atrium Gallery, we've developed annual shows featuring the work of Black Rhode Island artists, wonderful. Asian, Latino, Latinx artists, mm-hmm. Asian artists. We're also very proud that we have a show featuring the work of artists with disabilities in our state. So this is an opportunity not just to share work by Rhode Island artists, but also shine a spotlight on the different cultural communities in Rhode Island.
It certainly is nice to continue to shine that light, like you said, especially after the year that we've had. You mentioned the resiliency of the community. We want the community to come together to experience this space. How long is the exhibit on display for?
So the exhibit is up until June 25th. And it's a state building, so the typical hours that you would go into a state building is when the gallery is open. So Monday through Friday from like 8:30 to 4:30, 5 o'clock.
And it really is just a stunning location and a stunning piece that we can go and look back on and maybe reflect on the year we've had. Like you said, there have been some positives throughout the time, though it's been a trying time. There have been some bright lights that have come out of this, and maybe the gallery is one of them. Maybe this new installation is one of them. Randall, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
Well, we look forward to checking it out. If you want all the details on the gallery, we're going to post some links up at roadshow.com.